Hello and welcome to my channel In Search of Wonder. My name is Anne and this is my weekly reading vlog. So this week was a bit of a reading slump for me. So I really focused on reading one thing. I kind of took a break from all of the larger books that I have been working on because I wasn't making enough progress in them and I was just getting bogged down. So I took a little break from them. And so most of this weekly reading vlog is about that, the little break I took and the book that I had some fun with in that little break. And then I'll be back at the end to give you some more details about my week. Hello, it is Tuesday afternoon and I am home on my early release day. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I already finished any responsibilities that I need to take care of today other than making dinner for my family, which will happen later. So I have hours and hours stretching ahead of me where I can relax and read. So I am already all cozied up. I made myself my favorite espresso drink, which is a breve cortado. And I am going to read some Georgette Hare. Yes, I am ditching temporarily. It's a temporary breakup. All of the books that I'm currently reading, because I've been reading them, it is now February 11th. I've been reading them for 11 days. And because last week was just quite a week, I did not get very far at all on any of them. And so I'm just feeling like I just want to read something and finish something. So I am setting those aside temporarily because my brain just can't well, 2 of them are too long to finish today. And one of them is just, I'm interested in it, but I just want something lighter and more fun. So I am looking for some fun, cozy snow day reading. It is snowing outside. Right now, it's just kind of like flurrying. It hasn't really stuck yet, but it's going to. So, and I look ridiculous with my hair, but that's okay because I am at home and nobody cares. So anyway, I have a stack of 6 Georgette Hare books in my possession that I either haven't read or I don't remember reading. And so I'm going to read one of them today. And I may not actually finish it today, but I'm going to make significant progress so that this week, for sure, I can finish a book because I need to finish a book, okay? I just need to. There's no reason why. I just want to. So the books are The Unknown Ajax, The Quiet Gentleman, Black Sheep, Cotillion, Friday's Child, and False Colors. Cotillion sounds familiar. I feel like I might have read that one. But the others, I don't think so, that I know of. So here's a quick peek at their covers. This is The Unknown Ajax. I love the gold there on the author's name. This is The Quiet Gentleman. A couple of these are like really vintage copies. And then Black Sheep, this one, and I'm almost afraid to read it because I'm afraid it might fall apart on me. That one's really old. These are nicer copies. This one, well, nicer, I say that, and look at this back cover. But it's a newer copy, maybe I should say. And then Friday's Child is a nice copy. I like that one. And False Colors, also a nice copy. So what I'm going to do is, because I can't make up my mind between those 6, what I'm going to do is I am going to take you on a little scroll through Goodreads and look at the ratings of each of these ones. And I'm going to read the one with the highest rating. So I'm going to pick that one, and that's the one that I will read today. So off we go to Goodreads. We are going to look at all of the Georgette Hare books that are on Goodreads and see which one of the ones that I have has the highest rating. So, not that one. Okay, Cotillion is one. That's 4.09. Black Sheep is another one that I have, 4.1. So that's the next one up. The Unknown Ajax, 4.13, so that's slightly higher. Friday's Child is right at 4, so that's a little bit less. The Quiet Gentleman, 4.03, so still not quite beating out The Unknown Ajax. Oh, so many books. False Colors, 3.94. which it says I've read and totally don't remember that. So, not that one. All right. Have I seen all of them? Did I see The Quiet Gentleman? And did I see... This is my brain, people. I can't remember literally what I just did 2 seconds ago. I think I saw all of them that I have. Did I see all 6? Now we're getting into collections. So yeah, I think I've seen them all. So 4.13 was The Unknown Ajax. So that is what I'm going to read. It was Cotillion that I missed. So I want to go back and find Cotillion and see what that reading is. No, yeah, that one. 4.09. Okay, so the Unknown Ajax is still the winning one. So we're going to go with that.
Hello. It is Wednesday afternoon and I'm having a snow day, which is wonderful. And I have done very little productive things today, so that's nice. I have been reading. I'm about a third of the way through The Unknown Ajax. Not as much as this is. Normally, if I have a lot of time and I don't have responsibilities or things that I really need to get done, I can read a book like this size easily within a matter of 24 hours or so. But I feel like my brain is still just not quite recovered from our stress that we had last week that I talked about in my last weekly reading vlog. And I think I'm a little bit in a bit of a reading slump. But today I am not allowing myself to just scroll through Facebook because I find, or, you know, other social media, Instagram, whatever, because I feel like when I'm in a state like this, that's the only thing my mind can, like, just kind of mindless, you know, don't have to focus on anything. I kind of want to get out of that. So I'm not allowing myself to just endlessly scroll through Facebook. And I also haven't gotten enough into this book where I'm just deeply engrossed and just really wanting to read. So, you know, popping up to do this, that, or the other thing, which is fine. So I'm about a third of the way through, and it is an unusual story of the ones I've read by Georgette Hare, because typically the male protagonist in her stories is like an alpha male kind of person who comes across one way but is really something else. Like, he's really a good person, but he may seem like there are things that you don't know about him, and it may seem like he's a terrible person. So I am a little bit unsure about this one, because the male protagonist is very different. First of all, it took us a while to get introduced to him, and to be honest, I guess the story still could go a different direction from what I'm thinking. So, but given the title, I am assuming that the Unknown Ajax is the character I'm thinking of. I know it is. So I'm going to assume he's the male protagonist in this story. So we'll go with that. Anyway, he is very unlike most of her heroes. I do think, though, that he is not exactly what he seems, which is very true of her heroes usually, but this, I think, in a different way. Like, I think he is coming across as somewhat ignorant, maybe, and weak and perhaps subordinate, but at the same time, I am thinking that's not really his true character. So I think that there's something happening that we are still quite unaware of at this point in the story, and it will be interesting to see how his character develops from here. And the other thing I want to mention is that I was curious about the title. So it's The Unknown Ajax. And so they are referring to the main character, the male protagonist, as Ajax. And so I had to look that up and ask my son for more information about Ajax, who is a character in the Iliad and was a warrior. And he was called Ajax the Great because he was very tall. And so the guy who they call the Ajax in this story, he is a soldier. He is a major. Well, I think he just sold out of his commission or whatever they call it at the point in this story. But he was a major in the army. He served in the war. And he was, by all accounts, a great warrior, great soldier. And managed to get to the rank of major. And also he is very tall. He's 6'4" in this story, which is very tall. So like my oldest son is 6'1", and he seems pretty tall to me. It's hard to imagine 3 more inches. Like, well, he's like 6'1" something. It's hard to imagine 6'4". That's very tall. But he's also tall and like strong and broad. Like he's like a towering kind of guy, which is what Ajax the Great was considered. Some people call him a giant. So anyway, that's the, I guess, the inspiration for the story. And I was trying to get like more information about this Ajax character, but I think that he was like a minor player, you know, not, anyway, there's not like a great deal to know about him beyond that. So I feel like she was inspired by that in writing this story. She's definitely drawing on that comparison. So that's interesting. Anyway, so I'm going to keep reading and we'll see what else I discover about this story.
Hello, it is Friday afternoon / evening, and it is Valentine's Day. So I hope that everyone has had a wonderful Valentine's Day and that the people you love treated you well. And I just want to mention a book that I finished reading, The Unknown Ajax. I really wish that I had already read the Iliad, and now I'm thinking even more so I need to read the Iliad. And also, Georgette Hare is drawing heavily from a Shakespeare play that I'm not very familiar with, Troilus and Cressida. And I didn't just know that, like I had to look up because there were places where she was obviously quoting from a work of literature, but I wasn't sure what work of literature it was. So I was Googling the phrases that she was quoting, and it kept coming up as Troilus and Cressida. And Ajax is a character in that play based on the Greek character. So from the Iliad. So I wish that I had had a greater context for that, because I think that this book would have been even more enjoyable if I had a larger context for that. But basically, the Ajax, the way he's represented in here, I can't remember what I said about him before as a character, but he's very tall and he comes across as buffoonish or stupid, like he has like a blank stare that he has perfected, and his speech is unrefined. But all of that is intentional. Like he is projecting an image of himself that's not accurate, which I figured was the case because Georgette Hare always does that. Like, I guess maybe this is a spoiler, but at the same time, not really, because Georgette Hare's characters are very often like that. Like they present themselves as something other than they are. Really, they're usually a lot better than they make everybody think that they are for one reason or another, whatever the reason is. So this was very interesting. It was not my favorite Georgette Hare, despite the fact that it was one that had higher ratings than the other ones that I had. I think there were several reasons why it just didn't click with me. One was the timing. Like I think I'm just really in a bit of a reading slump because my headspace is not in what I'm reading, really. So that's part of it. That's totally me. It has nothing to do with the book. And secondly, when I am reading a Regency by Georgette Hare, especially, I mean, like you look at the cover and the back, it's classified in terms of genre as historical romance. Like I'm expecting a little bit more of that, and I was thinking, you know, like the week of Valentine's Day would be a good opportunity to read that. But that wasn't the main part of the story. So if you are interested in trying Hare, but you don't really like romance, this might be a good one to start because it has like strong literary connections with the whole Ajax character, and it's very well written, but it's not like really strong in the romance category. That's kind of a side plot, if anything. So that was honestly a bit of a disappointment because I was looking for an escape read, to be perfectly honest, and it's not what it was. And it moved a little bit slowly for me, but again, I think that's related to where my headspace was. I just wasn't in that, but I did see that other people made a similar complaint. So I also didn't think that it was very funny. Like normally when I read Georgette Hare, I feel like very funny. And a lot of people said this book was really funny and they laughed out loud. I wasn't getting it, but again, headspace. So I think this book is probably a lot better than my personal experience with it. Objectively, I can see that it's well written. Actually, I feel like these may be some of her most well-rounded, most human characters that she's written in any of her books. So great character development here, great characterization. It is a very heavily intense family drama kind of story. So if you like that, there's a lot of family drama here, a lot of interconnected family relationships. In fact, it hones in and focuses on some primary characters in a family and the relationships with each other and their interactions with each other and how they affect each other, etc. So a lot of exploration of family drama. So that was interesting. It's just not what I was picking it up for necessarily. So it was good. I think I should read this again sometime when I am in a bit of a different headspace and knowing more what to expect from it, and I would enjoy it more. But I do think that most people would enjoy this book. It gets really good ratings and really good reviews. Most people really appreciate everything that she is doing in this story. So I have picked back up again with Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I hadn't read much with that, but I am reading a little bit more. I've gotten up to chapter 19, I think. And honestly, with that one, I'm basically just along for the ride because I have no idea what's going on. Chapter 19, and I have no idea. I mean, like, I know what the author is telling me is happening. Like, I know what is happening in the story, but I have a lot of questions about who, what, why, where, when, and all the things. And I'm wondering if all of my questions are going to be answered. So I have questions about that too. So I have a lot of questions. I have not gotten very much farther at all with either Sense and Sensibility or Of Love and Treason, but I am going to focus on Of Love and Treason because I have several other things that I need to read in February. And so I need to finish one of the things, and I know I won't be able to finish Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell or Sense and Sensibility within the next few days or whatever, but Of Love and Treason I can. So I am going to focus on finishing up that one so I can pick up several other things that I need to read. And namely, those two things would be The Oedipus Plays, at least one of them, and then, but I would like to read all three of them that are in this book, and then The Rural Diaries. So I need to get started on both of these, but I need to take at least one thing off of my list before I do either of those. So that has been my week in reading, and I hope that you had a fantastic week. I am looking forward to this week. I should have 2 videos going live this week. One about my journey with Jane Austen, and Charlene at Coffee and a Book will also be posting her video on the same topic on the same day. That will be Wednesday, I believe. And then on Friday, I'm hoping to have up my video with tips and thoughts about reading Jane Austen, and how to get the most out of Jane Austen and things to look for in her books. And so I hope that everybody enjoys that one. That will be, I think, on Friday. So that's what's coming up this week on the channel and in my reading, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, and here I am with an addendum. I wasn't planning on including this on this week's weekly reading vlog. This one actually ended up being a bit of a shorter one for me, and I'm hoping for good things this coming week, so I might have a longer video next week. We'll see, but I thought maybe I could just tack this little bit onto the end of today's video. Today, Saturday, my husband and I took a date for the day, and we went to a town not too far from us, Winchester, Virginia, and there is a library there, which I have been wanting to visit for a while because it is supposedly one of the most beautiful libraries in our area. It was built a little over 100 years ago in the town of Winchester, and it's a really cool library, and so I've been wanting to go. So we went there, and of course we had a couple of coffee shop stops. One of them I was very excited about. It, first of all, it reminded me of the coffee shops that there were a lot of in Alaska, you know, just the like the drive-through little shack ones. We don't have a lot of those in our area. And I just think they're kind of fun. Like I really like a coffee shop where you can go and sit down and have ambiance, but those are pretty cool too. Anyway, this one was a cute little drive-through one, and they had keto options, which, I mean, it's easy enough to do keto or low carb at a coffee shop. You just don't get the sugar syrups, and you just have, you know, some half and half or whatever, you know, avoid all of the sugary, carby stuff. But it is nice when a coffee shop has like more indulgent drink options for you. And they are low carb, also bonus if they are naturally so and not like aspartame or whatever. So this particular coffee shop, they had a keto drink that was made with butter and MCT oil and all that kind of stuff. So I got that. That was a lot of fun, and it was pretty good also. After we went to the library, we ate at a British restaurant. I don't know if it was actually owned by British people or if the chef is British or anything, but it has British cuisine. And it was called the Union Jack. And I went there particularly because they had sticky toffee pudding, which is, okay, one of like 3 really good British foods, in my opinion. Very good. If you've never had a sticky toffee pudding, you need to find some place that makes it near you and indulge in it. It's delicious. Now, I will say the sticky toffee pudding that I've had in England is better than what I had at the restaurant today, but since I am not anywhere near England, I have to take what I can get. So a British person might be disappointed with the offering at this particular restaurant, but I was satisfied. It was good. It hit the spot. It's what I was looking for, so I enjoyed it. And then, of course, we went to a thrift store or two, and I did find a book at one of them. I was really avoiding, actually, like I picked up quite a few books. My husband will testify. I picked up several books, and I ended up putting them back because even though they interested me and intrigued me, I just don't really have space for them, and I need to read the ones that I have. So I did, however, find this one, The Medicine Woman of Galveston, because I've been seeing it around. I am very interested in reading it. It's one that I would like to read. So if I have it in my hands, I'd be more likely to actually read it. So I picked that one up, and I paid $1 for it. So I was like, why not? I will close out this video for the week with some clips from the Handley Regional Library in Winchester, Virginia. One thing I want to point out before I show you a little virtual tour of the building, the actual design of the original building was supposed to look like an open book. It takes a little bit of imagination, but so there was like a round rotunda circular part was the center, which was supposed to be like the spine of the book. And then wings on either side looking like pages of a book that are open. So if you can imagine something like this, where this is the rotunda area and then these are the wings coming off of it. So that was the design of the building. That's what it was supposed to look like, which is really cool. But then in 1979, they added an addition that basically filled in this space here. So made it more like a square, I think. So I thought that was really cool. And you can't really see that when you're like in the building, but I saw that. I thought it was really cool. I'll try and put a picture up if I can find online, a copy of like the blueprints that show that a little more clearly, so you can see that here. But anyway, let's go take a little tour of the Handley Regional Library, and this time, so long, farewell, see you next time.